all of us fail, right? And all of us miserably fail, right? And that's what we have also realized is documentation sort of becomes like a key starting point. The moment you start writing things, the moment you start documenting things, you can, if you can see it, you can, you know, make more sense out of it, right? If I just keep on talking about for an hour, I will possibly not make sense, right? But the moment I start documenting my points, there'll be more ideas, right? So I think the documentation again becomes like a key aspect when you think about open source security altogether, and how do we basically start contributing, and how do we get out of the mental barrier of start thinking on getting into the whole open source contribution.
No, I agree, definitely on those 2 points, definitely in terms of contributing upstream, right? So if you find a bug, please pull request, contribute back, right? Because it's a community activity, right? And there is benefits of your staff, and everyone likes getting involved. You're part of a community. I think another thing is, and that creates silos, right? But, and sometimes companies don't have processes to help you do that. But smart companies, the Googles, you, and others know that it's important for their developers to be involved in the open source community. And of course, if there is an issue, you're attached, you're deeper into the tech and you understand it better. So there's a lot of benefits, and we continually educate, you know, please, you can consume, but please, if possible, contribute back, especially if you find some bug or some other component, right? And also, another thing about open source that has made us successful, it's not just about one company, right? Open sourcing something and keeping it to itself. So all this technology, so Linux is used by many people, right? Red Hat, $32 billion, and we didn't get a penny. That's how much IBM paid. So open source is very successful, right? But really it's about vibrant communities, people from around the world, and other companies developing together as a team. So it also creates, it stops in vendor lock-in, and creates the future of the project. So vibrancy is community. So everyone, please do get involved. And it's gratis, and you get a lot back from community, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These are great points. Yes.
Yeah, and let's see. So what do you think in terms of regulatory? Do you see any more, I mean, a lot of people here work for other global companies, right? And some, do you see any regulation coming down, or do you see any regulatory for S-bonds and other things? Have you seen that here yet? I know some financial institutions are obviously very concerned, well, not concerned, very interested in future regulation around this.
Right, so I think one of the most important thing in the regulatory aspect of India is happening is cloud is becoming very, very prominent and popular, right, and on a very high level, right? So that's where it starts, because a lot of regulations in India were written in the context of IT Act 2000, right, which is like 22 years back, right? So with Digital India Act coming into picture, a lot of these regulatory aspects will come into play wherein cloud and all the ecosystem around cloud is going to be important, right? So eventually, if you look at open source, government also plays a very important role. For example, in the country, certainly plays a very important role, right? Wherein if you are part of a special interest group of certain, then you get a lot of insights, or you get a lot of threat feeds about what is really happening and what sort of security vulnerabilities are there at country level, right? So a lot of these are going to play an important role going forward, right? And in India, we have a PDP similar to what you have in Europe for GDPR, and for California, you have a California privacy laws. Right? So privacy laws has become an act now, right? So it's a law now, right? So company has next 6 months to 1 year to comply with it, right? So lot of context for personal data and non-personal data will come into picture. The moment personal and non-personal data comes into picture, this will again go back to business, this will again go back to open source, this will again go back to your intellectual property, this will again go back to the kind of codes that you are using in your ecosystem, right? So I think it will eventually evolve, but right now I think people are trying to get into the whole ecosystem, right? So I think regulation is catching up very, very fast, and I think companies are required to look into regulation.
Yeah, and I'm seeing governments definitely around the region trying to work out. They all want to be able to, they all want to basically, like all financial regulators, want to say everyone should have an S-bond. But people don't know how to do it. The kind of industry would have to stop, just build S-bombs. So it has to be, they're basically building up, I think, the capability and the understanding in order for us to ultimately at some point they can regulate
Absolutely.
best practices, right? But obviously, if people don't have the capability, you can't do it overnight, right? So I think that's coming. So it's going to be a growing field, right, around SBOM, around what Brandon was talking about in terms of salsa. It's definitely going to be, definitely a growing area. And I have some institutions that people are asking me,